that this defense is going on today. So on behalf of this committee and the Senate, I welcome the Permanent Secretary and his team to yet another round of budget defense for the State House. As usual, it is you that speaks more than we do. We only listen after you might have spoken. Then if you have comment or questions, we ask you in twofold. One, you tell us about the performance of 2017 budget, and then you tell us about your proposal. Then we go through and agree at the end of the day. So I invite you to make your presentation on behalf of the State House. Thank you.
Suffice it to state that we are heartily appreciative for the kind attention accorded to the State House for what it represents to our dear nation. Our budget proposal, as you are aware, always centers on what the budget does. It caters for both the office and residences of the President and the Vice, as well as offices of other principal officers working for the Presidency. Similarly, it provides for the administrative and other support services to these principals and their families. Mr. Chairman and distinguished Senator, the implementation status of the 2017 budget for the State House, showing overall performance in both overhead and capital, is summarized in the table below that is before you. The overhead expenditure and performance level in summary read thus. State House Headquarters under Course Center serial number 1 had an approved budget of 2,740,063,438 naira. Funds released from January to December of 2017 stood at 2,740,063,438 naira. Total expenditure was 2,739,220,071 naira 49 kobo. Expenditure in terms of percentage of the releases was 99.9%. The State House Operation President had an approved budget of 1,335,460,936 naira. Funds released 1,335,460,936 naira. Expenditure was 1,335,310,904 naira 67 kobo. Again, expenditure in terms of percentage of releases 99.9%. The Office of the Vice President approved budget was 448,618,092 naira. Funds released were 448,618,092 naira. Total expenditure was 448,563,790 naira 66 kobo. Again, in terms of percentage releases, 99.9%. Office of Chief of Staff had 20,391,700 naira as approved budget. The whole was released. Total expenditure was 20,373,758 naira 37 kobo. Again, 99.9%. Office of Chief Security Officer to the President had an approved budget of 111,359,316 naira. The funds were released in total. Total expenditure from it was 111,359,316 253,710 naira 90 kobo. Again, percentage of releases 99.9%. State House Medical Center had an approved budget of 331,730,211 naira. The whole was released. Expenditure was 331,642,132 naira 15 kobo, 99.9%. State House Lagos Liaison Office had a budget of 95,280,400 naira. The whole was released. Total expenditure was 95,087,979 naira 70 kobo. Again, in terms of percentage, 99.9%. We have attached the detailed implementation status as Appendix 1. On capital, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, State House Headquarters had an approved budget of 6,528,731,517 naira. Amount released was 3,264,365,758 naira 50 kobo. Percentage of budget release for State House Headquarters was 50%. Expenditure to date stood at 2,734,884,278 naira 70 kobo. We are still expecting a balance of 3,264,365,758 naira 50 kobo. Office of Chief of Staff to the President had an approved budget of 8,203,979 naira. Total amount released was 8,165,720,000 naira. Total in terms of percentage release was 99.53. Expenditure to date 00. Balance expected 38,259. Office of Chief Security Officer had a budget of 12,030,635 naira. Amount released 11,030,635. Percentage released thus was 91.69%. Balance expected 1 million naira. Lagos Liaison Office had a budget approved of 184,521,439 naira. Amount released was 162,260,719 naira 50 kobo. In terms of percentage, that was 87.94%. We still expect a balance of 22,260,719 naira 50 kobo. The sum total on capital then for 2017 approved was 6,733,487,570 naira. Amount released was 3,455,822,833 naira. I take that again, 3,445,822,833 naira. In terms of percentage, total release for the budget capital was 51.20%. Expended to date 2,734,884,278 naira 70 kobo. We are still expecting a balance of 3,287,664,737 naira. Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, the 0% reflected on expenditure to date, as reflected on some of the tables, is a result of a very late release of allocations, and we're still on the procurement process. Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, it is instructive to note that 85% of the amount released from our capital allocation was only released in the last week of December 2017. We have attached the detailed releases and implementation status of the 2017 budget capital expenditure as instructed and is marked as Appendix 2. Permit me, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, to move now to the 2018 proposals. The 2018 budget, which is anchored on government's policy of economic recovery and growth plan, seeks to consolidate the performance of the 2017 appropriation, which is principally aimed at completing the ongoing projects that were not completed due to fund constraints as well as irregular releases. With reference to Table 2 above, it can be seen that the sum of 3,445,822,833 naira, representing about 51.20% of the total capital budget, was released. While we await the release of the balance, we considered it imperative to strategically prioritize our demands under the 2018 budget proposals so as to maximize the scarce resources in such a manner for the State House to perform its functions optimally while ensuring that security is not compromised. We were conscious of the dwindling federal government revenues, but the State House 2018 budget proposal of 15,479,178,778 naira appears slightly above the 2017 appropriation of 13,567,979,277 naira by 14.09%, with a reason, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators. This increase is in the area of capital expenditure, as provisions have now been made for the State House Medical Center, which had nil, permit me to repeat, nil capital provision in 2017. We also proposed the purchase of security vehicles, which are captured in the relevant cost center of the Chief Security Officer to the President. On a slight digression, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, we had never asked to purchase vehicles since the coming of the administration in 2015, because the President made it a policy to now assess and make use with what was found on the ground. That unfortunately impacted so much on even the vehicles that were inherited within the pool and the sea view units. And as we progress in our presentation, you'll discover that some of these vehicles were bought 2008. In fact, with all sense of modesty, there were some that were bought in 1999 and 2001, but we're still managing them. But it has come to reality now that certainly we have to make it an issue, come before you to now solicit for your understanding so that we can do this exercise at least in 2018. On comparative analysis between 2017 appropriation and 2018 budget proposals, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, we have drawn a table which is on page 3. Starting with recurrent and the description column, you will observe that in 2017 appropriation, personnel was 587,617. I take that again. 1,751,587,617 naira. But in 2018, the proposal is 1,696,693,511 naira. There is therefore an increase of 54, decrease of 54,584,900 894,106 naira. State headquarters in 2017 had 2,740,063 2,740,063,438 naira. 2018 proposal is 2,740,063,436 naira. State House operation for the President 2017 was 1,335,460,936 naira. 2018 1,335,460,938 naira. Office of the Vice President 2017 was 448,618,092 naira. 2018 is 446,618,94 naira. Office of Chief of Staff in 2017 was 20,391,700 naira. The same in 2018, 20,391,700. Chief Security Officer to the President had in 2017 111,359,316 naira. Remains the same, 111,359,316 naira. State House Medical Center 2017 was 331,730,211 naira. 2018 331,730,212 million naira. Lagos Liaison Office 2017 had 95,280,400 naira. 2018 95,280,402 naira. Subtotal in 2017 we asked for 6,834,491,710 naira. We're asking for 6,779,597,609 naira in 2018. Under capital in 2017, headquarters asked for 6,528,731,517 naira. Now we're asking in 2018 for 7,109,028,048 naira. The Vice President capital 2017 we didn't ask for. Now we're humbly asking for 33,965,000 naira. Office of Chief of Staff, we asked for 8,203,978 in 2017. Now we're asking for 10,142,598 naira. Office of Chief Security Officer, in 2017 we asked for 12,030,635 naira. Now we're humbly asking for 666,068,132 naira, for the reasons that we will advance, but which we mentioned, Mr. Chairman, for the vehicles. State House Medical Center was not likely to have anything in 2017, but we're now asking for 698,728,241 naira. Lagos Liaison Office had 184,521,439 in 2017. We're now asking for 181,649,150 naira. Grand total on the two, 2017 we had 13,567,979,279 naira. We are humbly asking for 15,479,178,7 778 naira. Thus an increase of 14.09% for the reasons we have adduced and which will elucidate down. Mr. Chairman and distinguished members, as has been our practice since 2016, whenever we come before you to defend our proposals, you allowed us to highlight and explain a few areas that usually generate interest and for which you always applauded. Permit us to follow the sequence, go on what has become the practice. Recurrent expenditure. You may wish to note that even though our initial budget proposal to the Budget Office of the Federation was higher than 2017 due to government revenue constraints, we are maintaining the same level of expenditure in 2018 in all cost centers, but for some slight drop in personnel cost. Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, while we acknowledge inadequacy of this level of recurrent expenditure, especially in critical areas such as travels and transport, motor vehicle fuel costs and general maintenance, we are also not unmindful of the revenue challenges facing the federal government. It is our hope that we will have a window of opportunity during the year, possibly through a supplementary appropriation, to augment these provisions. On capital expenditure, 1. The annual routine maintenance of villa facilities. Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, this is usually a major expenditure item in the State House and the area that draws much attention. In terms of 2018 budgetary provisions, it takes over 75% of the State House headquarters capital budget. That is almost 5.4 billion out of the 7.1 billion. A sum of 4.9 billion has been provided for the year 2018, while another 565 million is proposed for settlement of liabilities on same from 2016, which arose from inadequate appropriation. Mr. Chairman, I wouldn't want to bore you with explanation because I know practically you had taken your time off on several occasions to conduct visits, on-site visits, and of course, at the risk of probably repeating the much challenge we have, I will say that maintaining the State House for its status and its size is a huge challenge, but it's not something that can be overlooked. It must be done. It has to be done. I know we had tried to be innovative and proactive in some areas to see the much costs that can be cut in some of the services rendered. In areas of power, for example, we are in touch with the Ministry of Power Works and Housing on seeking for alternative sources of power so that at least the bills can come down a little bit and can be accommodated, as it were. But until such a time that that is done, it is a huge challenge that we have to live with. But the good thing about it is working. The State House is working. As is known to distinguished senators, the facilities covered include but not limited to maintenance of electrical and mechanical installations, building and civil infrastructures. In the President, in the President and Vice President residences, offices, safe houses, the banquet hall, the council chambers, conference center, the villa administrative block, the presidential and ministerial chalets, and the airport lounges. B, purchase of operational motor vehicles. A total sum of 1.5 billion has been proposed for the phased replacement of operational and other vehicles in the presidential civil vehicular units, and security operation fleet. These sums are captured under the State House headquarters, 970 million, and under the Office of Chief Security Officer, 653 million. These proposals, as noted earlier, are in line with our provisions in the ERGP document discussed and agreed with the Budget Office of the Federation to be implemented over a 3-year period. You may recall, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, when we met you during the 2017 budget defense, we made spirited argument for the provision of substantial amounts for the replacement of vehicles in the CVU and other arms of the State House fleet. We inform you that some of the vehicles still in use were purchased as far back as 2008 and needed to be replaced urgently. We feel this is the time and this is the opportunity to make the case and to marshal it out so that we can get your support and cooperation as usual. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators, we wish to humbly acknowledge your continuous cooperation, understanding, and support. The management of State House will always tag with you by carrying out its mandate to be in sync with the international best practice by providing excellent, efficient, and qualitative services to the nation